Hi, this is Sharon Saladin. I'm here today with Barbara Best, and we are talking about our shift. Is that our shift in energy, Barb?
Shift in energy, shift in consciousness. It's all coming our way. All of it is wonderful, good, bright. I guess we could look at it
It's
like...
good news.
Yes, for a change, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to fight our way through everything. And the shift is our shift of consciousness. And also the shift in the way our planet Earth is traveling, and a shift upward. In the Bible, in Revelations, there is a lot there that talks about the horse and the rider and different areas with numerology. That's all about our inner shift within itself. That is talking about moving forward, leaving behind what we don't have to use anymore.
So it's not stuff that's literally going to happen here on Earth then?
Things will happen on Earth. They will happen slowly. As they happen, though, we could look back at it as an event that's in the past, letting it go, like the resurrection. In the resurrection story, Jesus was brought to the tomb, so in a way we are in our tomb, and we are waiting to be lifted up. And so what happens is before we've gone into the tomb, we've also suffered. And so a lot of the suffering is just a godsend to move things around, dishevel them, so that the light can come in. So before the light comes into our world, matter as we know it needs to suffer, or it needs to be redone. It needs to be moved around and replenished. And so when that happens, we are able to move up and go forward a lot easier than if this law didn't apply. So let's say going back to the tomb where Jesus supposedly went. So he's going into the tomb, but he has all this knowledge and all this experience before he enters the tomb. We are supposed to utilize the knowledge that we have before we enter our tomb also. We're going into our tomb. We're going into a place within ourselves where we can learn to align our personality, integrated with our chakras, so that when the energy's in, we can lift up. Now, some people call it the phoenix rising. In other words, the bird, the phoenix, goes into the ashes, kind of like our world, going into the ashes. Everything looks like, oh, we're never going to make it, and things are, oh, look how bad. Well, if you look at a cycle, if you look at a war, if you look at an argument, everything's like that at some point, because it's part of our experience. It's cyclic. And so going down into the tomb, we have room for self-reflection, self-examination. It's like when we go into an area of ourselves to search for our own sins. And then we see our sins, we've experienced the sins, we've suffered from our sins, and then can release them, because suffering brings release. It allows us to let go. And so when we're out of the tomb and the energy's coming in for us, like a kind of enlightenment, we then are lifting ourselves upward. And in our change of focus, we shift. We shift with the energy, because our bodies need to be replenished with the energy that comes in them, but our bodies need to be prepared for the energy also, and that came through the suffering. The suffering brings us the understanding of the circumstances that we're in. We might not like them, we usually don't. Especially if we're married to a circumstance. Well, anyway, so...
Sometimes suffering there.
And that can be a blessing in disguise, because what powers work through the other person, even in your family, your children, relatives, what works through them helps us understand the world we're in. And so when we are needled by that stimulus, we should thank our lucky stars.
Hard to do in the moment, though.
Yeah, no, not in the moment. We want to strangle some people. But then we go into ourselves. We go into our own purification, our time for our self-reflection, rejuvenation. We are actually rejuvenating ourselves with the power and splendor that comes in from our resurrection. Once we're lifting up, we found out, hey, we can do this. This is really special and spiritual. And we lift up and become closer to our soul or our Buddhic vehicle, to our one source. Then we know it's been worth it. We find out what